Hello YouTube, welcome to my devlog for Townsville 2D side-scrolling city builder. Showing off a new building upgrade system, chat a bit about being colorblind and doing game development, and a short introduction to composition in GoDot. But first, my name is Colin Fisser and I have made these games. This is Devlog-04 for Townsville. I would like to thank everyone that has subscribed to my channel. I am so happy to share my journey with you all. There are many amazing channels out there and new ones getting created every day. So thank you for taking the time to watch my video. Completely rewrote the base building node. All the buildings inherit from this scene and it's starting to get a bit messy. So I used composition to simplify the code and make it a lot more easier to work. I had to also change the finite state machine that the base building node uses to use the new properties. Also created the user's journey. This is basically a document that describes what the user should experience as they're playing the game. This is very different to a game design document. This is more to do with how it's supposed to feel. From that, I realized that I need to have a way to handhold the player if they need it. So that then created more tasks for future me to do. But I'm glad that I got that down in my head and I wrote it all out. I also worked on the Excel spreadsheet that has all the data for the game so that I can also get that down in my head of what is needed and what's not needed, what the costs are for each of the types of buildings, what happens when you put different buildings together and that new building will get created from that. Started documenting all of that. I think that's going to be the biggest focus going forwards, is to balance the game and create all the necessary information. Please like the video if you liked the video. Being colorblind is awesome, I think. You get to see the world a little bit more differently. There are some downsides. Rainbows. I only can see 3 to 4 colors if you include the background blue color, but that's okay, I don't mind. The big thing that we need to talk about is the color of peanut butter. You don't normally talk about the color of peanut butter. I only found out about 2 to 3 years ago that peanut butter is brown. This was life-changing. This was amazing to me. I always thought peanut butter was its own distinct color. If I had to put into a color, I would say that it would be slightly green. How do I work with being colorblind and doing game development? There is a wonderful site called lowspec.com and I can choose a color palette that I can see. I go for bright, highly saturated colors, and my partner then goes and writes the name of the colors next to the colors so that I select the correct color. And in Godot there is a wonderful color plugin that you can then set your color palette. So I don't have to worry about all the thousands of colors there are. I only have to worry about the few colors that I've selected. That really helps. I'll link below to a video of the colorblind glasses. Unfortunately, I did their test. Their glasses will not work for my kind of colorblindness, but it is very cool technology. Composition is an object-oriented design concept. Basically, objects can have properties that belong to other objects. This is how I've implemented it in Godot using the resource class. Godot resource files and the class that runs behind it is just awesome. I'm using it to do composition. I'll link an article below from a Python implementation of composition, and I've used that. I'm using the resource class because you can associate data and functions with it. I have my base building class. My house is an inherited scene from my base building, but I don't want to add more functionality or write code because that's what you would normally remove the detach script, create a new script, inherit from the base scene, and then write some functionality. This way works a little bit easier, I think. Here I've exposed some properties on my base class for start making, end making, start building, end building. It is matched to start resources. So I can create new resources. An example of that, building end making. Yeah, you can see it's inherited from resources. A main function that will be called by base building called produce item. And in here you'll see that the end building end make house rides that function and then does some discrete logic to then determine for houses. I want to check if we made enough bunnies. If we have and we've got enough food, then we can consume that food and then add a population to it, or we just take the tax, which is the copper or gold. I use it all over the place. Thank you for watching, and remember to be kind to each other. You never know how people are feeling on the inside.